Buongiorno, everyone.
Oh, I haven't got a beer.
Oh, you need to sort that out. Neither have I. I've got a big gear Cotterberg for the sunshine.
It's a big gear, that, mate.
It is, aye. Right. Got the Cotterberg, got the random Thailand shirt in the background, you know?
It makes loads of sense, that, like, because we're all in Thailand at the minute, aren't we?
If only we were.
Shit.
Well, we're back for the Q&A. Back for a Q&A via Zoom, of course. Yeah? No one can freak out saying that we're breaking rules when you're recording this like everyone normally does.
Yeah, not meant to be together, you know, unless we live together, apparently.
As much as we wish we were in Strawberry or 9 Shearer's Bar, actually. Shearer's Bar's come back, baby. Get them 9 signs down.
Oh, the 9 signs, base.
So, thanks very much for all your questions. Where you get to answer them. It's kind of how the show works. We're starting off with the YouTube members. Thanks very much for everyone who has become a member of the Magpie Channel TV. Much appreciated. So we'll start with yous and shout yous out for that. So, are you ready, are you?
I'm ready, born ready, mate.
Panther's ready to go. Luke Pearson, in recent talks of the Takeover happening, who would you like to see to come into the club and why? Players and managers. So, Luke's obviously, as you can imagine, this was the most asked question, like.
That pretty much eliminates every other question.
So that's the title of the show. That one question out of the way, we'll go back sitting the gun. But obviously everyone was obviously revolving around the Takeover. A lot more questions to come. But that's pretty much a group one, that, to be fair. Luke Pearson can have it since he's a member. Loads were asking who the next manager should be, what players we're going to sign. So, Keg, who would you like to see to come in? First off, we'll start with the manager.
Steve Bruce.
He's already there. Who would like to see him come in? Steve Bruce. He's there, man. He's waiting. He's around the corner. Wall's End.
Who would I like to see come in? I'd like to see Pochettino and also Allegri, but you know, there's fucking loads. I wouldn't really be that bothered about a specific one because I've seen a lot of talk about the Ajax manager, the Leipzig manager, obviously Rafa as well. Like, there's loads you could put out on the table, and either one of them I'd be pretty happy with. But I think in the short term, like I think this is probably another one of the questions likely, so I'll cover this one as well. I think Steve Bruce should be kept on in the short term. Like, if these 9 games are going to go ahead, which I assume they will be at some point, I think Steve Bruce should keep his job, see these 9 games out almost as like an audition. I think he's earned it. He deserves it. So, yeah, I think in the short term, Steve Bruce should be kept on. And then once next season comes in, we'll maybe look at someone like... He's obviously not a great manager. Like, give him...
Brucey, man. Brucey, he's never been given a chance. Give Brucey 200-300 million, yeah? Champions League.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he hasn't been given the chance to have 150, 200 million or whatever. Like, maybe.
Nah.
Could just do a good job. Maybe.
No, thank you. I'm taking the risk.
Because it's very unlikely. I'd rather give that money to someone who has played Champions League football, knows how to win titles, like in Allegri or someone like that. But so, yes, in the long term, that's who I would like. But for the short term, to see the end of this season out whenever it resumes, I would like to see Steve Bruce kept on and then look for a more permanent solution once these 9 games are done with.
I agree. I mean, I think Brucey deserves at least to see it whenever the season starts again, if it does. See out this season, because let's face it, you know, he has done a very good job this year.
He has.
Under the circumstances, quarterfinals of the FA Cup. Hopefully, that's the only competition I'm asked about seeing return, obviously, for obvious reasons. So he needs to be given that chance. You know, the players seem to like him. You know, St. Maximin, bear hugs. Give him the chance to see the season out, see where we get. But it's a tricky one because, say, Brucey wins 7 out of 9 games the rest of the season, but then the new owner's going to give him 200 million, are they? You know, Steve Bruce trying to ring up Vidal. Oh, hello, Arturo. It's Brucey. Fancy coming to Wales End. Like,
wait.
Vidal's not going to say with Steve Bruce, is he?
It's fucking who?
Do you know what I mean? Like, Brucey, fair enough, he was a decent player at Man United, captain and all that, but as a manager, he's a championship manager. I think, and especially, it's a new era. With the new owners, plenty of money behind me. We need a manager to match that money, don't we? So,
yeah, with a good name.
Aye, a global name, especially we're going to try and break into Africa, into the Middle East and stuff. People aren't going to buy into fucking Brucey's bacon. So we need to, I think when we said last week, Rafa, for a bit, maybe get him back. Or for me, I'm more in favour of a young, exciting manager now, like a Pochettino, like a Nagelsmann.
Aye. Yeah, definitely. Like I say, like Brucey hasn't really been given an opportunity. Like maybe he should, but it would be very, very risky keeping Bruce on. Like we do need to look for like definitely a more permanent solution, like say a younger manager, like Pochettino or the Ajax manager, someone like that. So yeah, that's who I would like to bring in. Like you mentioned, Rafa. Like a lot of people want Rafa back. For me, I'm split. Like if he comes, I'm happy. If he doesn't, if we go for one of the younger managers, I'll also be happy because like the negative people on the Benitez side, I get. Like his football a lot of the time was very defensive and it was very boring. Like maybe if he has like a 200 million budget, he can strengthen the attack and we can be more offensive. But yeah, like Benitez had his chance and the football wasn't pretty. I think people are very quick to forget things like that.
Yeah,
like there was a time like last season or like a bit before, like around just before Christmas time, I think, like people were calling for Bruce's head. Like people were wanting people were wanting Benitez sacked because like the football was fucking shit. Like so maybe with a bigger budget you can do better, but I don't know. Like I think he's had his chance. I think we need to look further. But if we do say out these 9 games with Bruce, I'd quite like to see Benitez given a year or two because of his philosophy, the things he wanted to do with the club, the project he wanted to see.
So I think he as well because he can win trophies, and he's a proven trophy winner, and that's the first thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Fans want and need in it. Anything League Cup, FA Cup, and Benitez.
Yeah. Like obviously he's been there, he's done it. He is a great manager, no matter what you think about him. Like he didn't have the greatest of times at Newcastle, obviously being on Mike Ashley's budget, having a fucking B-Tech Championship team. Like he did good with what we had. So with a bigger budget, like obviously he can win football, but his football's never really been pretty. He's never really been a great manager. He knows how to win things, but his philosophy always has been a bit defensive. But for me, it's more about the depths of the club, like the foundations, like the projects he wants to build, like the training facility and investing in the youth academy. Like that's what he wanted to do initially, but Mike actually wouldn't give him the budget. So I'd like to see him come in and lay them foundations and get it up and running for a year or two, and then push on to someone a bit younger, a bit fresher, a bit more attacking.
We'll move on to actually what we'll do. We'll get a different question in, and then we'll pick one from Instagram where they've asked about players because we went on about the manager position for quite a bit there. So another member, Lucas, has said, what do you think is the position that needs the most work, and who realistically should we try and fill it with? So let's quickly on to a player. I think it's clear as day that the position we need to fill is a striker, an actual number 9 who can score goals. Realistically, maybe Eduardo from Celtic, or obviously we linked with Morelos a lot from Rangers, maybe Callum Wilson from Bournemouth, or for me, Dembele from Lyon. I think he would be a class. I think he reaches probably the top end of the realistic scale. Someone who's hounded a lot around Europe, who's quite fancied, scores goals for fun. I think he would be a class signing up front. Who said Dembele?
What about Maja from Bordeaux?
Maja. I'd take Maja just for the crack. To be fair, just to win it.
Yeah, you know, it's like
Premier League, isn't he, Maja?
Like the key word in that question is realistic. Like I brought this up last week in the podcast we did with the lads. Like a lot of people are getting a bit too ahead of themselves. Like they're thinking in the first transfer window we're going to be looking at like Neymar and Mbappe and Griezmann and people like that. Like we're kind of be doing that. We need to. Them players will want European football. Like I know, like a big mega contract and a promising future may be enough to entice them, but not with a manager like Steve Bruce and no Champions League football, like no European football. Even we're not even in the Europa League yet. We need to be sensible about this and just build the team up until we can break top 6 or whatever. And with that, I think we need players that just can just push on a bit. And with a striker, like we need to build the team from front to back because we've got a class goalkeeper, we've got a very good defence. There's holes in the midfield we could fill in, but it is the goal scorer that we're missing. So we need a goal scorer. Like I brought up Danny Ings, you mentioned Callum Wilson. You got the 2 lads from Scotland, Eduardo and Morelos. Like I think they'd be good. Like they'd not be overly expensive, and they would help the team. And we just need to fill them little bits in. Like maybe it's another centre mid, full backs. Like That's what we need to do. And people thinking about fucking Mbappe in year one, get the fuck. Forget about that for 3, 4, even 5 years. Like, it's not realistic. That was the key word in that question, realistic. And they're the players, them 4 strikers I just mentioned. They're the kind of players that we need to be looking at.
Mm-hmm. Lewis Quigley, another member on YouTube. What do you think the transfer budget could be going with FFP? And do you think they will buy one superstar or make the squad more strong with smaller upgrades everywhere? So obviously we touched on the end of the question there about I don't think it'll be superstars straight away. I think it'll be 4 or 5 top class players that'll push you into the top 6. Hopefully, it's probably the most realistic thing, isn't it? Rather than, like you say, getting a Griezmann or an Mbappe. Mm-hmm. If we're going to get a superstar, I think it would be close to maybe like a Gareth Bale. I could see him maybe coming because his time's up at Real Madrid. Mm-hmm. He would maybe fit the bill because he wants to come back to England. Spurs won't have him back. They don't need him. Man United don't need him. Arsenal wouldn't have him. Chelsea, like these teams probably aren't going to pay what he wants. So it could be start something new for like a Gareth Bale. But what we said there, 4 or 5 realistic signings where it'll help a lot. You know, like a right back, a striker, another centre mid. Build around them really. With a transfer budget, obviously they have said it's going to be 200 million in the first window, didn't they?
Yeah, that's good enough to build a squad, like you say. Like them superstars will pretty much break most of that. So I've seen a link before saying that where Cavani's interested, we could be going in for Cavani, like people like that. Like
he's the older one, isn't he? So maybe because he can't really get a game. I had a little list here as well. And I had, you got Willian on a free from Chelsea in the summer. That could be one. Dries Mertens from Napoli. He's pushing on, but he's still a class. And you've got Coutinho as well, who wants to come back to England.
Yeah, like there's a lot of good option there, but for me, we do need to like just fill the squad with top quality players. But right now, maybe he's not world class. Just literally players that can like come into this team because the team's not that bad. It's just had there's been a lot of shit around, like with kind of like mediocre managers and no investment in the team. So yeah, we just do need to plug it with players good enough to push into the top 6 and into that Europa League spot, and then we can start bringing in players that like maybe it's like a Dries Mertens. Like, and Napoli's a very good team, but they're not year in year out guaranteed Champions League football. Sometimes it can drop down to like Europa League. So just the attraction of Europa League football will be a good start. Like Man United in the past few years and Arsenal, like they've been like kind of relegated to the Europa League, if you like, but they've still been able to bring in like the likes like Pogba and people like that. You know what I mean? So just European football is good enough to start enticing better players. It doesn't really need to be Champions League straight away. For like your really elite ones, like your Mbappe, like they will want Champions League football. But for like a Dries Mertens or a Cavani or someone, I think Europa is good enough.
NG or _Danzo. Next Gen Racing. I'm hearing from other stories and that FFP will be eased off a bit. Do you think this is true? Good for us if it is true, though. It definitely will be. Very good for us. But I don't know. I've never heard that. Is that because obviously what's going on with the coronavirus and the effects that's going to have on everyone? Because it came out the other day that they think that a lot of teams won't be able to sign players in the summer because of the knock-on effects of the coronavirus. So there'll be a lot of loan deals and free agents and stuff like that. But that won't be the problem for Newcastle. And one of the good things that Ashley's actually done over the last few years, being so tight, has helped our FFP because our negative deposit was much higher. So we've got more money to spend in terms of FFP, but we'll have to wait and see once it all gets sorted, really, the league and that.
Yeah. I think it'll be harder at the minute, obviously, to bring in players from abroad as well. Like, there's not much travel on at the minute. Like, how are you going to bring players over, like, from France or wherever? Like, we can't really do it. We're going to have to kind of stay in like England and Scotland. But like in terms of like the FFP, like, yeah, looking at the teams that have been bought out in the last 10, 20 years, like Man City and Chelsea, like look what they've done in the past couple of years. Like City's fucked. Like they've got like a couple of Champions League, 2-year Champions League ban. Chelsea last year had a transfer embargo, like because they couldn't stick within the financial fair play rules. Like we are obviously going to want to just fucking bang in like billions of pounds here and just get the best players that you can. But we want to do it in like a legal sense. So in 10 years' time, we don't end up fucking ourselves over with transfer bans and Champions League bans and stuff. Because like, I think a lot of the Man City players have said that they will stay. But I think a lot will want to fuck off because that Champions League is a very big attraction. The players' careers don't last that long. Like you're lucky to get 20 years out of a career. If you want to play Champions League football and you're playing for a club that's suspended for 2-3 years, that's a pretty big chunk of your career pissed up the way. You know what I mean? Like,
especially for the likes of Aguero and that, not getting any younger. You know what I mean? He seems to be on for ages now. So if he's looking at one more big move to maybe a Real Madrid, he's going to want to get the Champions League under his belt now, isn't he?
Yeah, like he said, like he's not going to leave City until they win Champions League. But if they're not even going to be competing for the next 2 or 3 years, you might think, wait, fuck that. So we want to obviously plug our team with as much money and as much quality players as possible. But I want to do it in the right way. I don't want to, get a bit too far ahead of myself.
And the last question from one of the are you there? Is he there? He's still there.
Sorry.
The last question from one of the YouTube members, Tom John. John McGinn would be the first player I'd go for once Takeover is complete. Who would you? So a bit similar to the other one, but that is a good shout. I think that John McGinn is a realistic signing. I think he's a really decent player, John McGinn, and you've seen the effect he's had on Aston Villa because ever since he's been injured, they just can't win a game. They've just been dropping and dropping.
Mm-hmm.
I think McGinn the times I've watched them. I remember they played Spurs in the early one. I think they went 2-1 up at their new stadium on Sky. And he was class. He was the best player on the pitch. He is a really decent player. John McGinn is linked as well.
Yeah. He's a great player. Like what we mentioned, like 4 potential strikers that we could bring in. I think like a central midfield player who's good at keeping possession and linking up play with the forwards is a position that we really, really need. We haven't really had anyone great in the last few years doing that. I think we touched upon this last week as well. Like players like they might be kind of out of our budget right now, like Jack Grealish or James Maddison. Like they've been linked with like Man United and stuff, who can offer more than what we can at the minute, apart from maybe a lot of money. So that like a John McGinn, someone like him, like that's like the realistic thing that people are kind of forgetting. Like you talk about, like instead of going for like an Mbappe, like in that role, people will be wanting to go for like a Vidal or someone like that. Like, but just starting low, someone who knows the English game, like a John McGinn, I think would be a really, really good signing, and not break the bank too much. We can like keep thinking about like the academy and the training facilities and stuff, and spend minimal money on it. John McGinn, like how much do you think he would be in the modern market? Like I don't think he would break. I don't think he would break much over 20.
I think it's 20 to 25 million, which I'd say was about right, to be honest. You'd probably get 20 if Villa got relegated. Yeah,
probably, yeah. So I'd rather do that and get someone like on a modest budget, kind of like what we've been dealing with over the last few years, but obviously like a little bit more, instead of just trying to think of what players are worth 100, 200 million and just banging it all in at once. So I'd rather like just build the squad up with players of around a 20 to 30 million value.
Right. We'll move on to the Instagram Q&A questions now. Remember, this is the premise of the Keg and Renty show. We'll put a story on 24 hours before filming. You can send your questions in there. We pick the best ones. So, Ryan Turvey 10, what stadium would you go to which you've never been before?
Oh, that's a good one.
It is a good one.
We've been to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. That's a fucking absolutely incredible stadium. I've never actually been to Wembley.
I've never been. Well, we're about to go FA Cup on it, but
yeah, I'd like just like the Wembley day out kind of thing, but like foreign ones. I know you've been to the new camp, but I never have. I'd like to see the Bernabeu. I'd love to go to
Dortmund's, the Yellow Wall.
Oh, that'll be a fucking wicked day out. Yeah,
really.
Dortmund, Munich. We drove past the Parc de France. We never actually been in the window.
Didn't get tickets to the Russia-England game, but we've seen it through the taxi window.
We drove past the stadium. That was good.
That counts.
I think the Bernabeu. I think there's a lot of rich history there. It's obviously a very big, very nice stadium. Like obviously, like a lot of history. A lot of great players have played there. A lot of great games there. So yeah, I'd probably say the Bernabeu.
Lovely stuff. Jamie _Ledbetter, best limbs at St James this season. He's going for Hayden against Chelsea, last minute winner. And I'd probably have to agree, to be honest. Remember how good that was, man. We were jumping around, going mental, and it didn't settle down for about an hour afterwards. The emotion there, like after an awful game.
That was a terrible, terrible game that we probably shouldn't have even gotten a point out of.
Nah, not a chance.
Like Chelsea were pretty poor in attacking that game, but we were fucking dreadful. Like if we got away with a 0-0 result, we were laughing.
Well, yeah. How we got away with this?
I was going to say, going into the 93rd minute, we were laughing, thinking, fucking hell, we're getting away with a point here. That was amazing, that. But I've got one to counteract that, and that's Matty Longstaff's goal against Man United.
Aye, definitely. It was close, that one. Like, Matty Longstaff, what a moment for him. What a moment for a local lad. That did raise the roof up, like, so it's a very close one, that, like.
Yeah, them two definitely are. But I think for me, I'd maybe pick Matty Longstaff's, but the Hayden one was great.
Matt_Lamb321. Do you think the upgrade of the stadium will be a good idea?
Definitely.
Yes. Needs to happen. Been waiting too long. And you know how hard it would be, like we touched on this last week, actually, to get tickets once this takeover goes through. Newcastle, the demand is more than 50,000, massively. So it's an idea that needs to happen.
Yeah, it is, but it always is. Like, even when we win the championship, we're still selling out. Like Newcastle fans are fucking massive, crazy, loyal, passionate fans. Like, I know everyone in the country knows that. Like, everyone knows that we're sold out home and away when we're in the championship. But now, everyone's gonna want a slice of the cake. Like, even like foreigners. Like, I think we've got pretty much the whole of Saudi Arabia supporting Newcastle at the minute. They're going around in fucking black white robes. But like you see these bigger teams, like we've been away to some of the bigger teams, like your Man United and your Chelsea and stuff, and everyone's a foreigner, everyone's a tourist. So if we bring that in, we're probably going to see a lot more tourism. We're going to get a lot more fans. So I think we do need to increase the stadium. I don't know if we legally can. I know there's talks about Strawberry Place being publicly listed, so can't extend. I don't know. There's talks about building a new stadium on the Town Moor as well.
Stavely had those plans a couple of years ago, didn't you, for the new owners, where you rotate the pitch 90 degrees so you can extend it that way. There's a good article about that if you Google it, but I still can't really get my head around it. But that was an alternative to extend it if the Strawberry Place falls to bits. It looks like it's turning into offices and apartments and more bars and everything in it. So,
but I think we just want to build up, not out. So I don't really know what the matter would be. If we're not going to extend the stadium around, we just want to build up. So surely that can't really cause much of a problem. If we can put an extra 20,000 or something on top of the Gallagher's, then fucking hell, be unreal.
Not really at the top. I can get the top there. Then them steps kill me. Them steps already kill me at the back of the Gallagher. Imagine trying to climb to the top. No.
I know. I know. Level 7 all the way around. Fuck that.
Oh, no good for me.
There'll be some heart attacks in St James's.
There will be when we win a
John's ambulance better be ready.
There will be when we finally lift the trophy now. Jesus Christ. Z.Dunn_X13. Who would you like to remain in the Newcastle squad if the takeover happens? We did that keep ourselves video. We're probably going to need to do another one once this takeover goes through.
Shit, I
think they keep Dubravka. Do you know what it is? Who would you like to remain in the squad? Most of them would do, apart from the bench and anyone else past that. I would keep the starting 11 that we normally see, and then just like we said, add 4 or 5 to that. The main ones that we need to keep a hold of is obviously St. Maximin, Almiron, Dubravka, Shaw, Fernandez. I'd keep most players apart from the likes of Dwight Gale and those type of players who just aren't good enough.
Atsu, players like that. I'd probably keep all the centre backs because, like I say, we need to build from the front back. If we can keep hold of the 6 centre backs we've got, if you think about the Newcastle in the future, if we are able to get Champions League football and bring in Mbappe, I can't imagine a Paul Dummett and Kieran Clark still being in the team. But to boost the team, centre backs are good enough. You've seen, this season, we've had a lot of injuries. We've lost your likes of Lejeune, Lascelles, and Shaw, but the other lads have stepped up and been unbelievable, like your Fernandez and Clark and Dummett. So I'd like to keep hold of all 6 of them: Dubravka, Almiron, St. Maximin. A couple of the others now, like Matty Longstaff, we need to tie down his contract. I think it could be a central figure, a very important player for us in the future. But other than that, I'm not really that bothered. The wing backs are replaceable. Shelby has one good game every 4 months. If we can Like if his form remains, I'd like to keep him, but he's just not that consistent. If we can bring like in a Arturo Vidal or someone to replace him, then great. Or a John McGinn, I'd take that.
I'll chuck this in at the same time because I've seen this question by Elliot.J. Joe Linton, keep or sell?
Keep. He's got potential.
I'll tell you what, if Pochettino, any of these young, exciting managers from around Europe, put him in his best position, coach him. Yeah.
I know. Like the Leipzig manager, someone like him. Like, Joe Linton's got potential. He's had a lot of stick this season. Obviously, been playing out of position, been playing as a number 9 when he's not one, hadn't had absolutely fucking no service. Like, I honestly think Shearer would struggle to score goals in this team. Like, there's just been no fucking service. So putting a young lad up there out of position, it's just fucking ludicrous. But yeah, like just before the break, he was played in his more natural role. I think he played like 3-4 games, like where he's meant to be, and played fucking unbelievable. He's got a lot of potential, and if we want to sell him, I don't think we'd be able to scrape back that 40 million that we bought him for. So we might as well keep hold of him for at least another couple of years and see how he develops. He's just turned 23. He's still a young lad. He's got a lot of potential. If he's used right, he can be a great player forward. It's just unfortunate this season he hasn't been. So yeah, definitely keep him and see what we can get out of him.
Right. Pezza.Joshua. I didn't want to say it because it brings a tear to my eye because we cannot have one at the moment. But what's your Nando's order?
Oh, fuck off.
I can taste it. I can almost taste it. How I miss you, Peri Peri.
Peri Peri heaven.
Oh, well, y'all know I go in deep. I go hot.
Man, that's hot.
I come out when I know sweating, bruv. I get the hot, double hot wrap, peri chips, spicy rice, water, because I'm a take cunt, and wild herb sauce on the side as well. Oh, my days, what I do for that right now.
It's I'm a little bit fruity, which sounds a little bit gay. Like,
got my beard.
Yeah, I can't handle the heat, and I just like a little bit of fruit just to, you know what I mean? So mango and lime. Well, that's a new one, isn't there? There's like mango and fucking
pineapple or some shit.
Yeah, mango and pineapple or something. Yeah, mango and lime or mango and pineapple, whatever. Butterfly. I do like a wrap, either the double wrap or the butterfly. Spicy rice, peri chips. I do like to call them the carbonara, but it gets stuck in your teeth too much. I can't be asked walking around here, so like, yeah, either one of them. But nice, fruity, delicious chicken.
I've been hammering the peppies at work. You know, I've had 3 this week. I was getting peppies delivered. It is well nice now. I had it before.
It is. I've never been peppy there.
It is actually unreal. You know, it's 9 Nando's, but it's as close as you can get. You get the chicken rice box, you get the flame grilled chicken in it. It does taste as close as you can get it. Like, it is decent, but you're never going to get the real deal.
Is that one in Newcastle now? Because there's one in Whitley Bay.
There's one on Westgate Road in Tune, so they deliver quite far, to be fair. And then you've got Whitley Bay as well, aye. There is going to be one in town in the city centre once all this is over. There's one that lads at work, his pal works there, and they are opening one up in the city centre, like.
That's sweet. Yeah, on Deliveroo.
Just eat. No, the Peppies app. You get the Peppies app.
All right, and they deliver.
They've got their own app, and they deliver, aye.
Oh, fuck me. I might get on that one.
No, you do, like. I'd recommend it. Okay, then. Mix it up a little bit. I'll let you take the lead on this one.
Is that?
JJ Tatone 1. What did you make of the NFL draft?
Oh! It's been class. It's been a very eventful one. It's been a very, very good draft class this year. I think it was a lot better than last year. But yeah, pretty good. A lot of unexpected ones. I think there was a lot of players taken in the first round that I didn't think were maybe first round potential. I think there's been a few surprises, like Jalen Hurts going to Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah, it's been good. Eventful.
Chew out of the Dolphins, baby. The Magpies are on the up. The Dolphins are on the up. Yes.
But the Dolphins are another one, to be fair. I don't know if you've seen like the later round picks, but I didn't have the Dolphins have made good picks after the first 2. Because I think they had 5 picks in the first 2. The first 2 were great. Tua was a great one, and they needed to boost that offensive line. They got Austin Jackson. Then after that, they got a cornerback in the 3rd round, which they've already improved that cornerback position. I didn't really think they needed to address that in the first round. I think that was a bit of a wasted pick. I think you should have gone for a running back, which after 3 rounds you still haven't gotten. And the other ones, I can't remember where else you've strengthened, but I think you've reached for some players. I think the last 2 players that you got are players that you didn't really need to go for. I think you should have gone for a running back, and I think you've reached a little bit. I think the players that you've gotten, you could have gotten in a later round. So I don't think the Dolphins. I think they've got the most picks. I think they've got like 14 picks in the 7 rounds. But I think the last 3 selections haven't really been the best. But Tua's the main one. Tua's the one that you needed, and I think he's going to be a great future quarterback.
Hopefully, mate. So, what Monty Reed? Would you rather get a Sunderland tattoo or support Sunderland for 10 years?
Tattoo.
I get over and done with. Tattoo, innit? Tattoo strip. Imagine 10 years. 10 years of League One. Potentially conference. Oh, no. Get a tattoo. Sunderland until I die. Tattooed on his bollocks just for the crack. Or the swooshback. Charlie Swooshback had a picture of him on my arse.
The advantage over a tattoo as well. You just get a little one that you can hide well, or you can get it lasered off or covered up. I mean, like, supporting Sunderland for fucking 10 years, less of that, like, no chance.
I'd rather get a tattoo than support Sunderland for 10 weeks, to be fair.
I know.
Davey Ho, can we get Adidas back doing our kits with the new ownership? Hopefully, well, we can, because the Puma deal ends this summer. The Man City FanTV Andy, he was mentioning some good stuff about the kit deals, about how Puma's only $6 million a year. We're 40 million less than Tottenham, 100 million less than Liverpool. With the new owner, with wanting to break boundaries overseas, and it's a great way to get your financial fair play down is to have huge sponsorship deals. So you could be looking at a big money deal from Adidas, or maybe even something new. With it being in a new era, get Nike in for a change. Yeah,
definitely. Is Nike got Man City at the minute?
No, well, they did have, but they've got Puma do Man City now, don't they? They've got them lifting shirts this season. Man City got that Puma.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Style, pink and yellow collars and all that.
Lifting that. Yeah, I think that's, to be fair, to be making some great kits at the minute. I like all of Arsenal's kits at the minute. Like, they're nice. So, yeah, I think the Man United ones are all right this year. So, yeah, Adidas are looking good, and obviously we've got a lot of history with Adidas. Like, it'd be like throwing it back to the 90s, get them 3 stripes back on the glory years we had Adidas. There were some good years with Adidas. But, yeah, I think you're right. I think we could do it with the new generation. Nike and Adidas are the 2 biggest sport makers in the world, to be fair. So either one of them's a winner. But, yeah, I think going into a new generation, getting Nike. I don't think Nike's kits have been that great lately, to be honest. Yeah, but it's still a big name. It's still a big brand. Like, whatever it is, I think either one's a winner. Adidas for the nostalgia feeling, Nike for the future.
Back to the good old days, John Oldine. Favourite tune moment when we're playing in Europe?
Oh, it's a distant memory, to be honest.
It is, especially for us, a bit young then. You've got to obviously, the one that always sticks out to me is Bellamy. And when Bellamy tucked it in, was a final 3-2 away, and the keeper just I just remember watching that, and that was unbelievable. You watch the Geordie boxes when we beat Barcelona with Tino, or remember when we beat Juventus at home, and I think Andy Griffin scored. That was unreal.
I was going to say, that's one of my better memories from when I can actually remember it. Them like 90s glory days with Aspria beating Barcelona and that. Like, I can't really remember it, just a little bit before my time. But yeah, I remember watching that game, the Andy Griffin goal. That was some fucking game, that, wasn't it? Was that the last game of the group stage when we lost all 3 the first games and won the last 3? Was that the winning goal? Was it? Yeah, I remember that one. So yeah, I'd probably have to say that one. But the Bellamy goal was class and all. I'm not forgetting that we got to a fucking Europa League semi-final, didn't we?
Nah, bought you.
Just had my fucking pants pulled down and just smacked by Didier Drogba on it.
I was there. Oh, that one. I thought, it was a quarter-final with Porgy, won it when we got beat off Benfica. The semi-final was the UEFA Cup. I remember being at that game. I was right at the front row of the pitch next to the tunnel, and Drogba it was just Drogba v Newcastle. I was like, we need to sign this bloke. Like, then obviously goes on to sign for Chelsea, and one of my favourite strikers ever, Didier Drogba, like, unbelievable. I remember. Did
he go to Chelsea the summer after that? That was one of his last. That was one of his last games for Marseille, wasn't it?
It was. So there was definitely scouts or people watching that on ITV and thought, he looks everything like. We'll have
It's a bit rowdy. Roman Abramovich, new owner, fucking lots of money. I'll have a slice of that one, thank you.
I remember going to the Europa League. Well, it was still the UEFA Cup. Then actually back in like high school, sitting in level 7. I remember playing like Fenerbahce in games like 1-0 Sibierski and Giuseppe Rossi. Oh, great days.
Oh, yeah. I remember them days. Good time. Fucking Sibierski, what a fucking underrated player he was.
And then he bought a Sibierski top off eBay the other day, but it went for like over 40 quid and it wasn't in great condition. So I was like, nah, I'm pulling out of that.
Oh, nah, it's a bit much for Sibierski.
That's not a joke anymore. That's a bit serious now. Right, well, a few left here. Well, there's quite a few, but I will try and pick some good ones. Charlie.cope.60. How are you getting on without football? Terrible.
Yeah.
Boring.
It's not too bad for me as an NFL fan because like this is an exciting time of year. We've just had free agency, the draft's on at the minute, so there's a lot of things happening. Even though there's actually no sport being played, there's a lot of exciting things happening. So that's how I'm dealing with it. But it is just fucking boring. Like today's Saturday. What time is it?
Yeah,
4 o'clock. It's 20 past 4 on a Saturday. I'd want to be fucking
second half somewhere. We should be. I don't know who but it should be second half somewhere.
Yeah, I'd want to be 6 pints deep right now watching we're getting beat 1-0 off Norwich.
That's the thing. Like the weekdays haven't changed too much for me. I'm still grafting.
Yeah,
so not being able to do something after work or before work, like going to pictures or going for a meal or down to the gym or something, like going for a pint. The worst thing is the weekend, man. It's the weekend when Saturday comes and that routine of getting up and then meeting in town before the game, couple of pints. Didn't realise how
but things like this, like doing these kind of videos, would be meeting up midweek, like on like a Tuesday or Wednesday, going to like Shiraz or Strawberry, wherever, filming our videos. It wouldn't have time to do this shit on a Saturday because it would be in the second half of a game right now, like doing our vlogs, doing our fan cams and things like that, like enjoying the moment, even though like there hasn't really been a lot to celebrate this season. There's been a lot of fucking stinky draws and that, like, but I'd still rather be there watching with fucking Rochdale than sitting there fucking wearing the same fucking jammy pants for fucking 4 months in a row. Like, you know, it's fucking sick of my life. Like, I need to do something, man. Like, can't wait for this shit to be over. But I'll get there, man. I think there's light at the end of the tunnel. And obviously, when we come out of this, hopefully we'll have a new owner and like the future will be brighter than it's been in 30-odd year.
I think the last week or so has took my mind off a tiny bit with the whole takeover stuff. It's kept the channel busy. It's kept interest busy on online and stuff. So that's picked it up a bit. And like you say, hopefully a few weeks' time we'll have some we'll back to normality a little bit. Maybe some football behind closed doors and hopefully a new owner.
Yeah, that's the dream.
Brandon_Newton, what's your favourite video game ever? And that's obviously a time to do it now to fill the time in during lockdown. Get a bit of PlayStation on, yeah? I think you look towards FIFA straight away. It's probably the most played game I've ever done. Favourite game, I'd probably say Grand Theft Auto. Any Grand Theft Auto, San Andreas, Vice City, any of them. Unreal.
Classics. Yeah, I've never really been that much of a gamer. Like, I've done quite a lot of games in my time, but I think that was a spell, like a good few years, where the only game I would play was FIFA. Like, or Madden. Like sports games, EA sports games, like particularly FIFA, like they're the only ones that I played for a long, long time. But like in the last few years, I've completed most of the Uncharted games. They're a very, very good series.
Yeah, that's them. Right.
Yeah. Like back in the day, like you had Grand Theft Auto. I remember doing the Godfather, the Scarface game. Yeah, remember that 50 Cent Bulletproof?
Oh, I used to love that soundtrack. Unbelievable, huh?
50 Cent Bulletproof was class. Yeah, games like that, and like even from earlier before then, like the classics like Crash Bandicoot and things like that. So, yeah, I'd probably have to just say FIFA because it's what I've played most of. But I don't know. There's a lot of good games out there.
Need for Speed Underground 2. What a game!
Oh, yes!
What a game that was! Oh,
yeah, Underground 2 specifically.
Vinyls, neon lights, lovely stuff. Sean Elliott 11. Going back to when we touched on St. James's Park earlier on in the video, what's your least favourite part of St. James's Park? I reckon the concourse to me, like, the concourse is just, it just looks dull. It's just grey everywhere.
Yeah.
TVs are tiny. There's sauce all over the walls. There's pictures of fucking Boom Song there. Like, there's just stuff that needs updated for ages, man. The concourse needs touched up massively.
Right, like the concourse does look like it's a fucking prisoner of war camp. And then
He does look like prison, like.
and then like just like I mentioned last week, like the grey seats like are just very dull, very boring.
I like the black and white seats looks amazing, like.
Yeah, I'd like to see something creative in the seats, like black and white patterns or like wording or whatever, lettering in the seats.
Even if it was,
I think it does just.
Even if it got like Nike and we had a big swoosh on the stands, that would look naughty. That.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
For me, it just does need a good clean and like a paint. Like I mentioned that last week. Like what was started to do, like around like the Sir Bobby Robson statue, I think looks unreal. Like they were just like brown bricks covered in moss. Like it's just fucking boring. Like we've done a great job in that tiny little corner, but we need to go a lot further. Like that's just a little part of a very big stadium.
And there's three of them.
Yeah, even like the scaffolding stuff. Like it's like that's just painted grey and it's starting to like rust and stuff. Like so, just the little things just does need a lick of paint and a fucking good clean. Like brown and grey. That's just shit. Like that's the dark thing about St James's. But other than that, it's a fucking brilliant stadium. Like if we got it looking pretty, it would literally be one of the best stadiums in the country.
Actually, the least favourite part is obviously the Sports Direct signs.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to get taken on.
Yeah, the first thing I want to see is just Staveley, the Prince, the Reuben Brothers, Newcastle scarves, shirts, no Sports Direct anywhere.
Yeah, right.
Last one, because we've been going on the hour and 40 minutes, and that's the bond limit. Saki M13, when do you think the takeover will be complete for Newcastle?
Your guess is as good as mine. Hopefully, the sooner the better.
Next week, I reckon. I'm reckon next Friday. What's the date next Friday?
Oh, you're gonna put a bet on that, are you?
Ah, 20 quid. I'm craving a bet. Friday the 1st of May. There you go. 1st of May. May Day.
1st of May. May Day. How long has it been? Is it a couple of weeks?
Exactly. They said it would take 2 to 3 weeks to process it for the Premier League, so that should be about right.
About 3 weeks. So yeah, hopefully by this time in 2 weeks. Yeah, next Friday will be a great date. The 1st of May, 1st of the month. But a week after that, hopefully, like
realistically,
the sooner the better.
Looking a week after that, to be fair, you're probably looking at the first 7 to 10 days of May.
Yeah. But literally the sooner the better, just for our own peace of mind, because while it's not yet done, everything we've been speaking about for the last couple of weeks might just be fucking bullshit. Like there's still like the
I'm done if it is like done.
And
it doesn't happen.
Like
I'm just pretend Corona is continuing and football has not come back. I'm done. Okay.
And because there's obviously like the question mark about like the human rights of Saudi Arabia and things like that. Like there's like the deal's not done yet. There's something that typically, I obviously fucking like typical in Newcastle, something will be a problem, like the human rights thing, or someone will get involved in some which way. Obviously, fingers crossed that it doesn't. But I literally, the sooner the better it gets done, just for our own peace of mind, is the main thing, and just start get the ball rolling, just start thinking about the future, start progressing in Newcastle's future. That's what we need to do. But for first and foremost, just for our fucking sanity, just the sooner the better.
Right. Well, thanks very much, everyone, for your questions that you sent in. Thanks again to the YouTube members, the old membership, and the little bit of money you're pumping into us means a lot, especially during these times. And we'll be back hopefully sooner with a lot more videos once the football is back in the way, like Geordie Box and whatnot, if it is behind closed doors. And cheers to everyone that follows on Instagram as well. If you don't already, at the Magpie channel, get your questions in for the next show. Cheers, Keg, mate.
Hey, bar, mate. We got to see you.
I got to see you, pal. Stay safe and watch what you're doing.
I know you've got one of them kind of good haircuts.
Oh, I have. I did it myself, you know. I just didn't get the didn't get the fade on the go. I'm going to try and touch it up. I'm going to try and touch it up. It's actually, I reckon, it's just we need the fade. Yeah, we need the fade because it's too much of a line. It's too much of a ball cut in it. But we'll master barbering and the Magpie Barber's opening soon. Cheers. See you later.
Enjoy yourself.
Enjoy yourself. It's been that well. It's been that long. I forgot to say it.
I know. Well, I've got that synced up. We need to get back into that.